Does anyone know where he is? Have we seen him? Is he still alive? What's up, guys? I'm Hunter, and here we are to do a quick discussion on whether or not Takaba will actually do anything within the kind of end, I suppose, like literally just the end of the narrative of Jujutsu Kaisen. Because, I mean, he's got the tech, but can he use it? And will he use it? And is Gege likely to let him use it in any way, shape, or form? So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right to the discussion itself. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter here. Fun fact, I have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Takaba doesn't have it on him. In fact, Takaba so does not have it on him. I don't think we use... Have we? I don't think so. I legit don't think we've seen him. Like, for the past 3 months. Maybe more. Like, I think his last actual appearance in the whole manga, let me double check this to make sure I'm not wrong. Well, I'm not going to go through every single chapter, but I literally have not seen the man, I think, since 222? Maybe 221 even? Like, bro just hasn't existed. Like, let me see, let me look. In a book, reading No Rainbow. Yeah, bro has simply not appeared. He's not been in any of the group shots. When characters like Kirara have been in them, Inumaki have been in them, Hikaruma's been in them, even that filth waste of space has been in them. But no, yeah, there's no Takaba. Why? I don't know, it feels weird, right? Because like, oh wait, no, never mind, he's right there. He is there. I'm wrong. You'll just stop the video now? No, I'm kidding. But he does appear in 222. I swear, I did not see him in a single one of the group shots, but he does appear in 222. I was right. He does appear at the end of 222. So he is there. He is there. Takaba is present, suited up and everything. So we know he's ready. He's there on the day of the merger. But will he do anything? Will he actually exist, or will he be fodderized? Will he be worthless? And why it matters. Here's the thing, right? It is okay to have gag characters in your series. Do I recommend it? I mean, personally, I'm just not usually for it. If you could not tell by my absolute deep vitriolic hatred for a certain black and white creature that still takes up panel time to this day, I'm not really the biggest fan of characters that are just around to be cute or be funny, but I'm not 100% opposed to the concept, especially if you build them into the narrative. If you fundamentally like structure them in there so that they either have a narrative purpose or just don't get in the way, it's fine. And it seems like Gege kind of went down that approach when he was first introducing Takaba, but then he laid something on the table that kind of has me worried. We're not necessarily worried, just generally intrigued, because Takaba has one ability. It's the comedian, and it causes a whole bunch of issues. Now, allow me to deep reference. I'm going to go way back in time and just read the comedian's ability out to you, and why I think it's something that kind of needs to be addressed. Like, it's not something that we can just glaze over while Takaba's in the vicinity. It'd be one thing if he genuinely was just gone, like he just hard vanished. He simply was not in the plot. But we know for a fact that he is here. At least he's there in 222. I don't remember seeing him in any other panel or anything like that. But with that being the case, he is alive and present, which is more than we can say for a lot of our other characters. And with that being the case, his ability, with how insane it is, poses, gently put, some issues? Some problems? I think some problems is a neat way to put it. Because as we see in chapter 173, what is stated by the narrator, this is an unbiased source. Notably, there are some statements within JJK where you kind of have to like chalk it up to, wait a minute, a character said this, not a narrator, or not even, it's literally just a narrator. Like, I kind of take almost every character statement with a grain of salt. Even Kinjaku, the most knowledgeable character in the series, I kind of drizzle a little salt over some of his statements. But we have a direct explanation from the narrator of Takaba's ability. Takaba's power is comedian. When he comes up with something that he's certain will be funny, it becomes reality. It's a cursed technique capable of opposing even Satoru Gojo. But when it comes to his own cursed technique, he's utterly clueless. So, There's the inherent balancing metric. And this is where we walk down path A. Path A is Takaba's worthless. I hate to say Takaba's worthless. He didn't get told what his technique was by Gojo, who had the 6 eyes, who can inherently read techniques. He doesn't have anything like that. And thusly, he's still just completely unaware on how this technique works. And unfortunately, due to the seriousness of the situation that's going on in the manga right now, it's very likely that he's going to run around making jokes. Like, notably, you could argue he would anyway, because he was literally in the middle of something called the Cunning Games, fighting a guy who could literally detonate parts of his body, and he was still just making gags. But considering the strongest sorcerer is currently laid out in pieces on the ground, and everyone's on the verge of losing literally everything, and the entire world's about to end, I'm not exactly sure if he can come up with something that he is certain 100% of the time will be funny and activate his curse technique. That's path A. He literally does nothing. And admittedly, in other series, I would have more of a problem with this, because I personally live by the philosophy, if you're going to introduce a character and bring the character back, you want to do something with them. But in a series like JJK, where the stakes are so high, and it just makes sense for every single character to be present, especially considering Takaba, even if indirectly, does have a connection to Megami, and obviously he would want to see the kid make it out, I understand why Takaba would be there simply for the investment's sake. And also, it's just the fact that, like, most of the cast is fodder to the main antagonist. Like, dog, what's Momo doing? Miwa, Kusakabe, Meme, Uiui. Like, we've had this conversation a million times before. If I were to start getting annoyed with X character being here, even though they are literally worthless within the grand scheme of the narrative, even with knowledge of their techniques, I would be mad that, like, 90% of the cast is there. Heck, the rest of the cast. Realistically, after Gojo, and I guess Kashimo now, no one should be able to do anything to 20-finger Maguna. Not Maguna. Well, he's not Maguna anymore. 20-finger Saguna. And by proxy, no one should be able to do anything to Urume. Just based on their speed scaling and the abilities of their eyes at max output. And no one should be able to do anything to Kenjaku. The only other guy in the series with a barreless domain and like 1,000,000 curses. Like, I don't know. It should be that way. So I'm letting it slide for Takaba just being there and doing absolutely nothing. But, like I said, that's path A. That's the logical path. The path of least resistance. Path B is a path that it's so inherently stupid that I don't see Gege going down it. Like, it'd be wrong in a way, but think about it like this. We had a whole month of characters doing a whole bunch of stuff off screen. Legitimately, anything can be introduced. Will I wink at it? Will I wince at it? Will I raise an eyebrow? I'm like, you sure about that? Will I definitely be moving like that? Indubitably. Unironically, I will be 100% moving like that. But that free month of time allows Gege to literally write anything. Anything at all. And remember, this statement that Takaba does not know anything about his curse technique comes back from 173. Currently, up to this point in the manga, we are at 237. Literally over a year later. I think nearly 2 years later at this point, with how many breaks Gege has taken, involuntarily or not. So, there's a whole month. And we have a character, or I guess we can't say had. We had a character who had a unique Jujutsu ability that was specifically structured to, I don't know, read curse techniques. So while Takaba in 173 may be entirely clueless to the nature of his technique, Gojo's simply looking at the guy, especially considering in 222, Takaba actively acknowledges Gojo, which is implied that at least he knows who Gojo is and they've interacted. He literally says, as Gojo's running out, he's one of the people who is cheering for Gojo, and I think he literally says something, but I can't tell just based on how the word bubbles are done. But with that being the case, he's there. He had a whole month to interact with Gojo, and you never know, some contingency plans could have been made, and presumably, since the comedian is such a powerful ability in of itself, to the point where it didn't even reveal itself to Takaba, or Takaba didn't have a fundamental understanding of it, I wouldn't be shocked if Gojo, after teleporting back to the crew, during the 1 month time skip, took one look at Takaba and was like, is that a technique on par with me? Because the narrator itself says it's capable of opposing Satoru Gojo. So it's entirely possible that Path B is being walked down, and Takaba now has something of an understanding of his cursed technique. Now, what does that entail? Number one, it means if Takaba's in a general vicinity, it's very likely he's kind of immortal. And you may be wondering, But remember, Takaba took no damage against Hazanoki. Hazanoki, who was doing lethal amounts of damage to Megami with just casual little body parts that he was throwing. Hazanoki was having an extended battle with Takaba, and Takaba came out no worse for wear because he didn't find the idea of the red, or being funny. And thusly, since he didn't find it funny, and he thought it'd be funny if he just no-sold all of Hazanoki's attacks and made gags out of all of them, it was fine. He was literally fine. He came out with no damage because he didn't find it amusing. Or he found the idea that he would take no damage amusing. And thusly, bro's fully immortal. Nothing that anyone would be able to do outside of a domain that either Kenny or Sukuna could drop on him, or even Arume if they survive their fight, could actually get rid of Takaba. And you know what that means? Takaba could literally be the ultimate stall tactic, the ultimate stall metric. You could just throw Takaba out there and literally give him a whole chapter against Sukuna, and unless Sukuna opens domain, which seems very unlikely that he would do it on Takaba, who, without the 6 eyes, he wouldn't be able to tell what the ability would be. He'd probably just laugh in his face. Sukuna would likely just have to deal with the fact that Takaba's fundamentally immortal due to the nature of his technique. Kenny runs into the same issue. It's highly unlikely that unless he opens domain or has something that can negate cursed techniques, that he could actually get rid of Takaba. Same issue with Urume. Takaba is a pseudo-immortal, to a level that I'd say is even beyond characters like Gojo, Yuta, and Hikari. Because what makes all those characters pseudo-immortal is the fact that they can regenerate real good. But what makes Takaba pseudo-immortal is the fact that he literally doesn't find the end of life funny. And he finds no selling attacks funny in character. In his first major fight, we see him doing something like this. So Gege could use him as literally just a scapegoat to stall. Have a funny chapter, or even a funny couple panels where Takaba's just posing, striking poses, or smacks back a cleave, smacks back a dismantle, smacks back a lightning bolt at Sukuna because he thinks it'd be funny. Could be entirely possible, especially if he has an understanding of his technique. But the ultimate copium is that maybe Path C, due to the nature of his technique, he doesn't just find it funny that he's indestructible and can make gags out of everything. He finds it funny that everyone is indestructible. Everyone on his side is indestructible. And he can make gags out of all of it. He could literally turn Jujutsu Kaisen into a gag manga if left unrestrained. If he does not get somewhat nerfed, or he doesn't stay nerfed, because not knowing his technique is a nerf, and he doesn't get active on the battlefield, then I think everything's fine. We're going to keep the serious tone. We're going to keep it pushing. Characters are going to be susceptible to the end of life. It's going to be like that when it be like that, especially when it be like that. However, considering Gege Akutame has shattered ankles before, mine are still recovering from many of the chapters that Gege has released. Why did my left ankle actually start throbbing when I did that? But with that being the case, Takaba is there. He could. I'm not saying it's 100%. Don't get me wrong. I'm nowhere near saying it's 100% that he's going to run in, cause havoc, destroy literally anything and everything, shatter the plot over his knee. But I'm just saying, since he's here, he's alive, he's present within the plot and with our current cast of characters, I wouldn't rule out the idea that he could get down to some tomfoolery. I wouldn't chalk it up to a narrative impossibility, especially considering the dire state right now. With 20-Finger Sukuna fully incarnating, Kashimo being on the ultimate time limit, and pretty much everyone else being nowhere near the league that 20-Finger Sukuna is, and still have to deal with Kenjaku, and depending on how the Hikari fight goes, still have to deal with Urume. Considering the fact that there's still so much in the air, so much weight, so much heaviness, so much tension, so much danger, considering Gege pretty much never introduces a character without purpose, could be possible that Takaba clutches up and causes some wacky, silly, goofy things to happen. How crazy would it be if he just found it funny that Gojo hopped up and fought with no legs? Or how crazy would it be if he thought it'd be funny if Gojo's legs animated themselves and just started kicking Sukuna in the face and were suddenly immune to cleaving his mantle? Because it'd be funny to see the four-armed king of curses getting beat down by two legs. How funny would it be if everyone was just indestructible and the most Cleave did was give them a little paper cut? How crazy. Do I think this is actually going to happen, though? No. But I did want to mention this. I did want to do a quick video on it because it's been sitting in the back of my mind. It's been something that's been plaguing me. Because it's the only curse technique that's explicitly left that can really stand up to Sukuna, in my opinion. Obviously, no domain. If domain happens, immediate shutdown. Same thing with Kenjaku or Urume. We know Kenjaku has domain, if Urume has domain. If they trap Takaba in it, Takaba's cooked. But considering Sukuna seems to be holding back, having a lot of fun, not really taking the fight all too seriously, Takaba could get in the way. And honestly, if it were to happen, would I be mad? Would I be angry? I don't think so. I think I'd actually genuinely find it funny. But then again, I may have just lost my good grind. I may have just lost every bit of sanity from reading JJK on a week-by-week basis. However, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think Takaba is actually ever going to be relevant? Do you think he was just introduced for a joke and he's still here because he's here out of obligation? Or do you think that maybe he could actually pull something crazy? If not, like reviving Gojo or making everyone immortal, just a gag here or there at all. Do you think he could even last a second against Sukuna with his ability if he knows anything about it? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support for as low as $1 a month. Get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Takaba the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays, Red Wolf 4765, and Perp Skills. I'd like to give another thank you to our $5 patrons, Sean, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gem Lord, Kevin, and Demix LND. I'd like to give another very big thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Ochia and iDemo Comic. I'd like to give a hefty thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our $25 patrons, Igneal and Calvin Elder.